and welcome to Imagine This Stories. I'm so glad you're here today. We have a really fun story. So sit back, relax, kick off your shoes, and for the next few minutes, imagine this. A small boat and some big waves. Guess what? Today, we're going on a boat ride. If you listened to my story about Noah's Ark, you'll remember that in that story you also rode on a boat for a really long time. Oh, and you were a bird named Column. Good news! Today, the boat ride is much shorter, and you're not a bird. Nope, today you're a person. You're one of Jesus' friends. But which one? Maybe Matthew? John? No. Nope, today I think you're Andrew. Hello, Andrew. How are you today? Oh, you're busy? Why's that? Wait, let me guess. I'm going to guess you're busy because you have a fishing business with your older brother Simon Peter, and it keeps you hopping. That makes sense. Well, look, don't let me keep you. I'm sure you have a lot to do. You walk away quickly, knowing you have a lot to do. It's early in the morning. Good thing you're an early riser. You hurry to the boats to inspect your nets. You don't fish with a pole. You and your brother use nets. You throw them into the water and then pull them up, hopefully full of fish. But what do you think happens if there's a hole in your net? Yep, those slippery little guys swim right out of there. Good for them, not so good for you. So your first job of the day is to make sure all the nets are in good shape. Now this may sound like no big deal, but these nets, they're large, like 25 feet around. That's like the size of a big dining room table, or as long as a giant crocodile. Yikes, I'm glad you're not catching one of them. And because you and your brother run a fishing business, you have a lot of nets to check. You get to where your nets are hanging. It's important to dry them after each use so they don't rot. You start looking at the nets. Oof, they're kind of stinky. You look at the first couple. They look good. Ah, darn, the third one has a fairly large hole in it. This will not do. You get some string and tie some overhand and square knots to repair the hole. It takes a little while as the hole is sizable. When you're finished, you tug on that area. Yep, feels strong. No fish are getting out of here, you think. Just when you finish checking all the nets, your brother, Simon Peter, who everyone calls Peter, shows up. Must be nice to sleep in, you say. He laughs. I was up before you. I was with Jesus. He was telling me that he's going down to the Sea of Galilee to teach. He asked if we could bring him a boat. A boat? Why? Is he going fishing? I don't know. But I told him we'd bring one. Which one do you think we should use? You point to the first one in line. That one should be good. You both get into the boat and row it down the coast. So where's Jesus, you ask? Peter points to a large crowd of people sitting on the shore. I'm going to guess he's where all those people are. You nod in agreement. People do come out in droves when Jesus teaches. You maneuver the boat close to the shore and then jump out and pull it onto the sand. Ooh, the bottom of the sea is a little slimy, but it really doesn't bother you. You've walked in this water hundreds of times before. Jesus sees you and smiles. You smile back. Once the boat is secure on the shore, Jesus pauses his teaching and walks over to you and your brother. Thank you, he says. You're welcome. Jesus then gets into the boat and asks you to push it into the water just a little ways out and then drop the anchor. You do that, and you see that now Jesus has a nice place to teach from that's not too crowded, and you and your brother have a front row seat. All day long, Jesus teaches the people. All day, more and more people arrive to hear him teach. All of the other 10 of Jesus' good friends, or disciples, are there too. When evening comes, Jesus tells all 12 of his disciples to join him in the boat. He says you're all going to the other side of the Sea of Galilee. Everyone gets settled as you and your brother put up the sail. Most of the people on the land start to head for home, but a few jump into smaller boats and start to follow you. The sea is large, And while you start slowly, before long, the wind picks up. This is great, you think. We'll reach the other side in no time. The wind continues to grow stronger. And then comes the rain. Then comes the thunder and lightning and waves. Really big waves. The smaller boats that were following you have all turned back. You wonder if maybe you should turn back. You swivel around to ask Jesus and find he's asleep. He's resting his head on a pillow. He must be exhausted from standing in the sun and teaching all day. The waves continue to get bigger. They crash into the boat. The water from the waves, plus the rain, starts to pool around your feet. Matthew and Thomas are frantically scooping out the water as fast as they can. They're not fishermen and not used to being in a boat, especially in a storm. You're used to being in a boat, but you're still not loving this. Thomas yells over to you, "How long do these storms usually last?" You shrug your shoulders. Storms in this sea can come out of nowhere. They could be short, or they could be really long. A bolt of lightning, strikes the water right next to the boat. You yell. Jesus, however, is still asleep. A large wave crashes into the boat and it almost tips over. Your brother Peter calls out to Jesus, who is still asleep in the back of the boat. "Teacher, don't you care if we all drown? Wake up!" Jesus opens his eyes. He instantly sees everything that's happening. The storm, the waves, the look of terror on everyone's face. He, however, doesn't seem afraid. You stare at him, wondering what you should do. Jesus slowly stands up, which is tricky with a boat tossing to and fro. But he doesn't slip or slide, even though his feet are covered in water. He turns his head one way, and then the other. Then he speaks in a strong voice. "Peace! Be still!" Instantly, the rain and the wind stop. The waves go from towering above the boat to nothing at all, just small ripples on the surface of the water. But what's most amazing, not only has the weather changed, but you have as well. Your fear and your panic, they're gone. You feel as peaceful as the water around you. The clouds are gone and the moon shines down onto you all. You can tell from everyone's expression that they too are no longer afraid of the storm. But to be fair, you're all kind of a little afraid of Jesus. What just happened? Jesus then sits, and you all turn to face him. "Why are you so afraid?" he asked. "Do you not have any faith?" No one speaks. No one knows what to say. Then Jesus lies back down and closes his eyes. You and your brother adjust the sail as a gentle breeze blows you toward the opposite shore. Turn and gaze at Jesus and wonder, who is this man who can make the wind and the waves obey him just by speaking to them? The end. I hope you enjoyed today's story. I love this story. Want to hear something cool? When God created everything, the earth, space, people, animals, he did it by speaking. If you listen to my In the Beginning podcast, you already know this. Here again, Jesus speaks and amazing things happen. It makes me think that the things we say, the words we use, they matter. No, we're not calming the seas or creating a puppy, but words make a difference. They can hurt feelings, or they can make someone feel a lot better. So be careful with what you say. Again, thank you so much for listening. If you want to read this story for yourself, go to your Bible in the book of Mark, chapter 4. And if you don't have a Bible, let me know, and I'll see what I can do. Reach out if you want to on Instagram or Facebook at Imagine This Stories. And please follow me and leave a review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your podcast. Have a great day, and I can't wait till we get together again and imagine this.